Hey guys, Matt Dawkins here. Welcome to the Pinecast. This is episode number 4. Quattro. We made it, and we're today. We're about to syndication. We're going to be drinking from a fire hydrant today. We got a lot for you, but housekeeping. I want to let you got something to say. Go first.
I'm Peter Sanger.
This is Peter.
Peter's
here too. This is Peter. I know Peter. Amanda Holtzberry. I got your hand grips. So if you don't know, I thought it would be wise to borrow somebody's hand grips without asking and then rip them on the first set of pull-ups. So I'm making amends. And Amanda, here are your Bear Complex hand grips. I also bought a pair for myself so that I don't have to borrow Amanda's anymore. And then also, I think I maybe struck gold because I got these at the Independence Games this weekend. These victory grips, which I love. We actually might start selling these as a box, so stay tuned and try them both out.
I like my Bear Complex all leather. You know, three finger all leather.
3-finger all leather?
Yeah.
I'm a 2-finger carbon fiber guy. So, and I say that I've never actually used these yet, so I'll let you know next week if I like it or not. We just got back from the Independence Games. We had 9 athletes. 9 athletes this weekend, throw down the Independence Games. Shout out to Corey Addy. Took first place in the scale division.
Yes.
And 3 teams, 3 individuals. It was awesome. It was epic. We actually got to go and help and bring some equipment down or up to them. Their original equipment sponsor, our thoughts and prayers are with Panama City. In fact, we're collecting some supplies that we can send down there this weekend. So if you're watching this before Saturday, we're looking for basic construction, gloves, masks, shovels, diapers, wipes, basic shelter needs too, even games for the kids. We're looking for that. So, but Independence Games was awesome, and I think we lit a fire under some of our athletes. We even had some fans go down and watch. So really good time.
Thanks for the judges too that helped volunteer their time for that.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had. Are you a Dodgers fan?
I'm a Dodgers fan, so all about Team Blue isn't just about in the box. Team Blue is Think Blue. It's the Dodgers. So by the time you see this, it'll be 1-0 LA. After they win Tuesday night, Clayton Kershaw no hits, probably the Red Sox. I can guarantee that.
This half of the video screen cares. This half does not care.
There are way too many Red Sox fans at this box.
Yeah.
Eat crow.
All right. I don't care less. Oh, what else? Actually, somebody that you guys probably don't know, but somebody that I know, I'm getting to know well through his own podcast. A man named Dan DeLomba dropped into our box yesterday. He's actually from CrossFit New England. And CrossFit New England, even if you're not a New England fan, CrossFit New England is probably one of the best boxes in the country, and one that we aspire to be as good as in the next 50 years.
Just like the Dolphins aspire to be as good as Tom Brady.
Aspire. Aspiration. He dropped into our box and he gave me this cool band. And it reminds me to not complain, which when we get to mindset, we're going to talk about. But every time I complain now, I snap my bracelet. It's a little trigger to keep me from doing that. So,
no complaints from me.
Right. Anything else before the physical challenge? Any sponsors today?
No.
No sponsors today.
Send it.
We don't need sponsors. The physical challenge today, we came up with a creative, clever name for it. I think we called it the Double Bosu 360 Dismount for completion. Y'all ready for this? Check it out. One more time. Yeah. All right, any thoughts on that, Peter?
I hurt my other knee watching that. That looks like a drunk bet loss.
Yeah, we're pretty sure he lost a bet to do that one. So his glutes are lit right now. So I'm just glad it wasn't me.
Did he sign the waiver?
I kind of like the idea of other people doing the physical challenges, especially if they're going to get to that level. So.
But next week will be an epic physical challenge.
Oh.
It will.
Something to do with pumpkins. So stay tuned. Today on the Pinecast, we're talking about the 5 pillars of a purpose-driven life when it comes to fitness. So we're going to jump right in and we're going to start talking about nutrition. And there's a reason. If you look at the fitness pyramid, It's on the back of a lot of CrossFit t-shirts. There's a reason that nutrition is the foundation of that pyramid. But I want to give Peter a minute to talk about nutrition and his experience in it, and then I'll wrap up nutrition with a few thoughts.
I mean, number one thing I know for a fact is you cannot out-train a bad diet. You simply cannot out-train a bad diet. Now, when you're 450 pounds, you have to eat like 4,000 calories a day. Yeah, you might get away with some things and still lose some weight, but the healthy food that's coming in is not equivalent to all the calories that are going in. I used to drink a bottle of bourbon. That was for Weight Watchers, that was a 60-point expenditure. I can go to Zaxby's and get their wings and things for a whole 59 points. So what's my priority there? Do I want the protein? Or
How many in the context of a normal day? How many points were you allotted in a normal day?
At that time, I was getting 60 a day.
So one bottle of bourbon was your
that
whole
was my
day's
whole day.
worth of food.
So now I get basically 43.
One meal at Zaxby's was the whole day minus
Yeah,
one.
that's 2,000 calories.
Oh my God.
2,000 calories, 129 grams of fat.
Whoa.
So everything's got a cost-benefit ratio. I don't say you should not eat something. I would never say you can't have that or you can't have that. But just know that it's got a consequence if it's how it's going to affect your body once you eat it. And so, tracking. Logging in the food is the number one mantra at Weight Watchers. Knowing what you're putting in your body on a daily basis lets you know how much calories you're bringing in and where you're at. Because when you think that, I ate like a 4-ounce piece of steak. Well, you weigh it, it's 7 ounces. Then that half cup of rice is actually maybe 3/4 cup. And then, there was butter in that. And before you even know it, you've added an extra 500-600 calories just out of like that. The way coffee creamer, you put that in your coffee in the morning. Everybody likes their pumpkin spice. Well, like a little tablespoon is like 2 points per.
I'm feeling judged right now. I'm
And
feeling judged.
you get like a 24-ounce cup of coffee, and you put in, you're putting in like a 1/4 cup of creamer.
Yeah. That's real.
It's not good.
That's real. You go to your doctor, and your doctor's going to talk about the glycemic index, and he's going to say eat foods that are low glycemic. The reason he's saying that is because your body produces insulin in response to blood sugar. So when you eat foods that are high in sugar, high in carbohydrates, they're high up on the glycemic index. The more you take in, the more the glycemic load you take in, the higher the insulin response is going to be. And hyperinsulinemia is actually the number one cause of most chronic diseases. Hyperinsulinemia is a fancy way of saying too much insulinemia in the blood. So too much insulin in the blood as a response to the foods that we're eating. That's the number one cause of chronic disease. So, I'm hearing you talk about weight loss, I'm hearing you talk about performance and whatever your goals are, but even bigger picture, you think about health when it comes to nutrition. You can watch the glycemic index, you can look at things and look at the glycemic load, basically, how rich they are in carbohydrates or in processed carbs or refined carbs. But the simpler way to do that is the CrossFit prescription, which 2 ways to say it. Number one is eat meats and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar, right? That's one way to say it. Another way to say it is eat real food, right? Shop the perimeter of the grocery store.
Yes.
Not too much, right? Monitor your intake. We don't want to support excess body fat here, and then mostly plants. And that's tough for a lot of us. I know for me, it's been a learned thing since I started CrossFit to really start diving into the colorful foods that if it didn't grow out of the ground or if it didn't have a mom, I'm trying to stay away from those things and trying to stay as true to the real food as I can, as least processed as possible. And I've gotten to a really good place with it where I really enjoy it. That's not to say I'm a Nazi about it, but
Sure.
1% better every day. That's what we say. Nutrition really, really does matter. And I can't wait to talk more about that next week. There's my shameless plug. Next week, nutrition. Boom. Here's the next thing. Rest.
We all need a good night's sleep.
Again, I just want to point to one thing when it comes to rest. There was a Harvard study done. They took a few students who were part of the campus, and they actually willingly a part of the study for 7 days in a row. The study, I think, intended to go longer than that, but for 7 days in a row, these college students, 10 of them, decided to be willing to be a part of the process of sleeping only 4 hours a night. They were only allowed 4 hours a night. And when they started, they were all remotely healthy. 7 days in to 4 hours of sleep a night, they were all diagnosed as pre-diabetic just because of lack of sleep. Now they were also probably medicating, over medicating because of lack of sleep, drinking too much
Yeah.
Monster energy drinks and
We all
Red
have
Bulls
lives.
and crazy. Yeah, that's
You
real.
got kids, you got
That's
jobs.
stuff you got to do,
You gotta
right?
get. You see a gnarly wad coming up, and you're like, man, I got to get pumped for that. I just don't
Yep.
feel like I have it. I need to do my favorite pre-workout, or I need to do the bang, and it's a temporary fix
Yep.
for a longer problem.
Yeah. And ultimately, what we're going to do is work away from the need for those supplements, but to see those supplements as a way to add value to the foundation we already have when it comes to nutrition. Fun fact to finish up rest, those same students were then invited to get full nights of sleep, at least 7 hours. And 2 days later, they had already returned to their normal state. So you could argue rest is just as important, if not more important, than proper nutrition. So think about that while we talk about the third thing, training. Thoughts on training, Peter?
Have a plan. Have a plan. Know your body's limitations. Use your coaches to help you achieve the goals you want to get. You're just not going to come in one day and say, I'm feeling it. I'm going to get a 20-pound PR. It's incremental, achievable goals. Proper technique, proper form. Good programming at your box. You're not randomly picking wads on a dartboard.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of thought process goes into our programming here at the box, and we're trying to set athletes up for success. So the biggest thing you can do, also, just to point to one thing, when it comes to training, a couple months ago we unveiled fitness tracks, and unfortunately we unveiled a great idea with a poor implementation. So I want you guys to know that fitness tracks are coming back. Anticipate those coming back around February. But right now, as is written, as the workouts are written, there's a lot of thought that goes into them. And the best thing you can do when it comes to training, two things. Show up. Even when the workout doesn't look like it appeals to your strengths, show up. Be willing to embrace your weaknesses. Number two, leave your ego at the door. We all have something we're struggling with here at the box. And that's one of the best ways we promote community is by embracing our weaknesses, right? If you only come in on strength days, it's just a competition every time you come in the box. Nobody wins.
Be
when we do
coachable.
that, right?
Be coachable.
Yeah. Submit to the training. Ego at the door. Show up. How many times a week should an athlete be showing up? Real talk.
I'd say 4.
4 or 5 days a week. Arguably 6, depending on where you are in your fitness. So just keep that in mind.
Good thing you didn't ask me how many times I show up.
Peter shows up 19 times a week, plus podcast time, plus fit aid time. Let's talk about recovery is the fourth thing. Thoughts on recovery?
Take the extra 10 to 15 minutes after workout and stretch. Before the lactic acid or whatever that is builds up in your body.
Yeah, whatever that is, right? We all know that feeling. We've been into an intense WOD, and there's a burning sensation inside the muscle. That's lactic acid. That is us reaching our lactic threshold, where what our body is producing and releasing is actually psychologically forcing us to stop in our workout. And there's a great opportunity post-workout when it comes to recovery to pick up one of these fit aids right here. In fact,
It says recover right on the can.
open on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Take a sip real quick. Recovery matters, right? You don't know what you're doing when you're at the gym. That's why you have coaches. Take advantage of your coaches. They'd love to help you mobilize and stretch in ways that are going to help you recover faster. It's your gift. You're really wanting to live out this purpose-driven life when it comes to fitness. Recovery is a huge, huge part of that. So jump into the fifth component. Mindset. I just want to say this. When it comes to your fitness, one of the most damaging things you can bring into it is you are who you were. It is one of the most challenging things you will ever work through. Because when people step in this box for, let's say they've gone through a season, undoubtedly limitations have come off. They have been exposed to things that they thought they wouldn't be able to do and found out they could. But it is forever in the back of our minds, that limiting mindset, that self-deprecating, we just feel like we need to beat ourselves up. We feel like we need to tear ourselves down, especially if a compliment comes your way. You ever feel like somebody's like, "Hey man, you look good today," and you're like, I don't feel like I look terrible.
Yeah,
Please
I'm not worthy.
Stop talking about me. We go into this sort of shuddering posture when someone wants to speak well of us, when at the end of the day, we are all in here trying to get 1% better every day. And when someone recognizes that in you, you need to cherish that compliment. You need to cherish that encouragement that just came your way, that affirmation that you're doing the right things and moving in the right direction. But at the same time, your mindset, if it never changes, there's a 100% chance that all the work that you put in is only going to be reversed. There's going to come a day, and it's going to start a new season where you begin to go back to where you were. If you don't change this, it doesn't matter how much work you put into this right here.
Yes.
If you don't change your mind, it doesn't matter how much work you put into your body, the way you eat, the habits that you've created. If you don't change the way you think, you will eventually think yourself back into the place you were when you got started, or worse.
Take comfort in the fact that you're already ahead of the game because you made a decision to walk in the box from the beginning. That's a huge accomplishment. That's a huge mindset alteration to begin with. You know you need to make a change in your life, and the fact that you walk through that door, other people see that, they know you're here because you're here to make the change. You don't come to CrossFit for fun. And it becomes fun.
It does.
You know, you didn't come for the Friendsgiving, though I heard we're going to have a pretty good spread.
November 10th, 6 p.m., bring a dish.
Yes, but that's a byproduct of the hard work you put in. And embrace the whole thing. Embrace the whole experience. Embrace all 5 components working together.
Real quick, nutrition, rest, training, recovery, mindset. We're actually going to take the next 5 weeks to unpack each one of these things. If you feel like you wanted more of any one of these components, we're going to be unpacking them over the next 5 weeks, and we can't wait to do that.
Yes.
So I think Peter had some fan mail he wanted
we
to
finally got some
to
fan
share.
mail. It's been
We
a
do want to
while.
say thank you to the folks that watch and listen. We love it when you like and comment and share and subscribe. So thank you guys. Peter's got some fan mail
This
here.
is what makes it all worthwhile. At Bobby Sox 11, Dubuque, Iowa, wants to know if we'll ever be getting our own merchandise for sale. Well, this is CrossFit Sacred Pine merchandise. Are we going to get the Sacred Pinecast merchandise? Maybe.
That would be sick.
Maybe.
Hey, we are getting hoodies in November. We're getting hoodies, and we'll actually be pre-selling them. So if you're interested, hit us up. 1% better every day.
All Tide No Pods from Tuscaloosa, Alabama suggests Tarzan ring muscle ups. That seems like something.
I'll try it. I'm in, 100%. Maybe not next week or next year, but one day.
At Clemson Nurse says, I don't know where I'd be without CFSP, CrossFit Sacred Pine, like
Cool.
that. At
Thanks, Sam.
BRNKCT says, y'all are great. Kind words, trusty person, I can guarantee that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
that's Beth, right?
Or is it?
That's Beth. Thank you, Beth.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I knew that. So thanks to CrossFit Rising Sun, I thought it was Japan. I thought we actually had viewers from Japan, but
Oh,
it's actually
man.
Nashville for commenting. I'm going to do a mime expression. That's a smiley emoji. We got
That's a smiley emoji.
Smiley emoji. And lastly, at CFIT Gma from Somerville says, we need to keep better posture at the desk.
Oh my God. You gonna wait till the end to tell us that? Maybe this Fit Aid will help my posture.
But thanks for all the comments. Send your fan mail to @PeterSanger Instagram.
Also, if you guys have questions, comment below. Hit us up. Let us know what you're wondering about. The point of this podcast is to get vision to our people, so they know why we do what we do, what we care about, so that we can get united and excited about the future. And that's the point of this podcast. So if you guys have questions, hit us up. We appreciate you guys. That's episode 4.
Yep. Halloween next week. Get ready. I'm going to be
We
ready.
need to, yeah, he's gonna be a Dodgers fan. He's gonna be a Red Sox fan for Halloween. It's scary. My legs. Carbon fiber or Victory Grip. Hit us up below.